Good morning and welcome back. As you know, we've been working on our roof, and in the last episode, we managed to get the sheathing up and the underlayment up. And just a word about the underlayment. According to the manufacturer, this underlayment can be exposed for up to 6 months prior to the installment of the final roof material. So that takes a little bit of pressure off of us. And the reason that's good for us is we want to get all of the wood surrounding the roof, the rafter tails, the underside of the plywood, the clear story. We want to get all of that stained before we install the roof, because we're going to be using a high volume, low pressure electric sprayer. And they're not supposed to have much overspray, but we figured it's easy now. We don't have any masking to do. We can just get up there and spray away. Once that's complete, we can begin with the metal. Now that electric sprayer we just purchased and won't be delivered till Monday. So in the meantime, I'm going to be working on the 4-inch drain line going from the house down to the septic tank. About 5 months ago, I had dug the trench, laid out all the pipe and fittings, and the next day we were hit with a monsoon storm. A culvert upstream had broken, and we were flooded. All of the pipe and all the fittings washed away. So it's time to get this project done.
With the help of my neighbor Derek Handyman Howlett and his tractor, we got this dug in about an hour. You know, I really don't mind doing this kind of work by hand. It's just that I mind it when it's a repeat. You may recall that I dug this ditch out about 6 months ago. And had it complete, dug it by hand, and quite frankly, I was okay doing it. It took me 3 days. But after the flood hit and filled it in, there's something about redoing work that just bothers me. Always has, always will. So when I was talking to Derek this morning, he said, hey, why don't I just come over and give you a hand with the tractor? And he made short work of it. So thanks, Derek. Much appreciated.
After a very brief consultation, Derek and I laid out the pipe, determined the angle, and he grabbed his tractor and got to work. The width of the trench is about 18 inches. The depth is between 24 and 30 inches. Because our terrain has a natural slope leading down to the septic tank, we kept the depth of the trench consistent the entire way. If you watch carefully, you're going to see some mad skills using a tractor. The back tire got stuck into the trench, and as a result, Derek needed to use the backhoe to prop himself up and wedge himself out. It was really fascinating to watch. I would say the total time of tractor work was about 30 to 40 minutes, and then it was time for me to come back in and clean out the trench.
I've got all the pipe laid out. Now I'm going to be transitioning from Schedule 40 PVC to ABS. And the reason for that is ABS is just much more available in the southwest of the United States than Schedule 40 PVC. These 4-inch PVC pipes that you see right here, Schedule 40, I had to go to a supply house to get those. Back on the East Coast, you can get that stuff at Home Depot all day long. Out here, ABS is used. So you'll see, for example, a 22.5 coupling right here, ABS. There's a special glue for that. It's called a transition glue. And the only reason I'm using this second piece of Schedule 40 PVC is because I had it available. The stuff's too expensive to waste. And I will then be transitioning to straight ABS. This is the first connection going into the septic tank. And this was probably the most critical of all. There is a lot of play on the feed tube coming out of the tank, which is a Schedule 80 thin wall PVC. I used a thin wall to Schedule 40 coupling, and then you see a blue dot on it. And what that blue dot is, it shows me where that needs to be so that the clean out tee on the inside of the tank is in the vertical position. When I inserted the next piece of pipe, you have to twist the pipe in order to make a secure connection with the hub. And every time you twist it, of course, that clean out tee on the inside of the tank moves. So by putting that blue dot there, I know the position that needs to be in so that when I can connect my subsequent pieces, that will be properly vertical inside the tank.
So it's time to get down to some gluing. I'm using a piece of 4x6 lumber to prop up the 4-inch pipe so I have good clearance underneath for when I apply the glue. I'm using the transition glue going from Schedule 40 PVC to ABS. I want to make sure everything's nice and clean, and then I'll put the proper coating on both the pipe and the inside of the hub before making the connection.
What you're looking at is the 4-inch stub out going below the deck. And that I'm going to just kind of cap off without any glue. And that's just going to stay like that until we have our fixtures in place. What's going to happen is this is going to have a Y coming off of it going to our kitchen sink. And then it's going to go back that direction toward the bathroom. But for right now, it's underneath and it'll let us close in the trench and also build the deck that we want to build back here. So this is my first time using ABS pipe, and the glue is very thick and requires a little bit of a different gluing technique. It suggests that you glue the pipe, then the fitting with inside the hub with a thin coat of glue, and then the pipe a second time. And it recommends letting it sit for 15 minutes. And I'm going to let this sit for longer than 15 minutes. I'm going to let this sit for about a half an hour. And then when I come back, Yvonne and I are going to level this thing out, and we're going to put a 1/4-inch pitch on it running from the septic tank up to the deck. Now that the pipe is all in place, I've got it leveled off. I'm using a level that Derek loaned me, and it shows what the pitch is. So I'm at a 1/4-inch pitch, and I believe it's a 1/4 inch per foot. So that should be plenty good drainage. It does at some places go up to 3/8 of an inch. So I'm not afraid of it being too shallow of a pitch. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in underneath the pipe and so make sure it has good support, then we'll top it off. As I'm backfilling, I continue to double check with the level to make sure that my pitch is correct. and then I'm giving dirt underneath the pipe to support it, and then some dirt on top of it to prevent it from moving if I make adjustments somewhere else on the line. So far so good. I'm just going to keep backfilling. In order to firm up our work, we got out the hose and gave it a good soaking. We have the entire trench backfilled, and we graded the area so that there's a nice gentle slope to it. We still have the exposed lids from the septic tank because that still has to get pumped out. Otherwise, this project is finally, after 5 months, complete. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. And as always, we appreciate your support. We'll see you in the next video.